I am here to discuss some controversies about the farming ordinances which have been introduced recently. There are many people who are raising some questions about the veracity of the farmers' protest, mostly urbanites, who feel that the farmers have been a pampered lot and are pushing too far now, since they do not want to lose the great facilities which they have been enjoying, like subsidized and free electricity and water. I am totally against subsidies. I agree with you. Let us withdraw the subsidies. Before we discuss this further, I would want to take you back when we were all children going to school and remind you of a fable that we read about. This was about a group of blind men who were curious as to what an elephant looks like. So one of the sighted men, he led them to an elephant and left them to feel the elephant and make out for themselves what an elephant really looks like. If you remember, each blind man touched different parts of the elephant and drew their own conclusions. The one who happened to touch the tail was sure that the elephant looks like a rope. Another who touched his leg insisted that the elephant looked like a pillar. And one who touched his stomach said, no, the elephant looks like a wall. That sighted man who deliberately left them to just feel one part of the elephant is what our media is doing right now, our crony media. They are releasing bits and pieces of information to the urbanite to say what the ordinances are about, carefully not revealing the entire reality or the entire picture. I don't think that people who are questioning the farmers or who think that they are making a huge protest about nothing, they're not really against the farmers. Why would they be? They have no animosity to them. Only they are being misled by the crony media and they are unable to look at the entire picture. They are only being fed those bits and pieces which go in favor of those who are trying to push these bills through. So let us come back to the question we were talking about. That one major question is that farmers have been a pampered lot. Why should they be given free electricity? Why should they be given free water? Okay, I agree with you. I am not for subsidies either. But if we have to start doing away with the subsidies, maybe we should start at the top with people who are drawing 5 lakhs and 6 lakhs of salary rather than the farmer who is getting a subsistence amount for his work. Let's start with the members of the parliament. Every single thing is free for them. They have free accommodation, they have free medical facilities, they have free allowances, they have free people to work for them. They're drawing sometimes 2 pensions even after they retire, to the extent that even if one of their family members is suffering from a disease, they think that the government hospitals here or even the private hospitals of the country are too below their level and they must go abroad with their family and their entire entourage. And who pays for it? You and I, the government exchequer, who is too poor to give subsidy to the farmer. And what is actually their contribution? They do not even attend all the parliamentary sessions. Hardly any of them do their homework and raise a question in the parliament. Hardly any of them is even knowledgeable about what is happening, about the questions that they are there to discuss. Are they really earning their keep? Look at the subsidized food in the mess of the parliament. Are these the people who need subsidies? They go to a ridiculous extent of claiming washing allowances for their sofa covers and their curtains. Of course, the farmers don't need to wash their clothes, they don't need to educate their children, they don't need a roof over their head. Why should they need any subsidy? Now let me come to the judiciary. The judiciary has gone to extreme lengths to entitle themselves to every possible facility under the sky. Their whole existence on this Mother Earth is free. It is obligatory for the nation to keep them well and happy and satisfied with all kinds of luxuries. Besides all the freebies that they get, free electricity, free water, the free travel allowances, free household help, you will be surprised to know that they have entitled themselves for a lifetime service of a cook and a driver, both of which cost 36,000 per month to the exchequer. Does anybody ever ask them about the huge backlog of undecided cases? Does anybody ever ask them why they will not, for months and years, not take any action against a certain PIL, a certain pending case which might mean a lot to the litigants? Their life is hanging by it. Who gives them the freedom to recuse cases without any logical reason? On the other hand, the farmer who gets this electricity and water free to put food on your plate, he doesn't need to get electricity to run 6 or 12 ACs in his home, as do the MPs and the judiciary in their sprawling bungalows. He does not need free water to fill his swimming pool. He needs it to grow that food. And even there, let me tell you, I have gone and interacted with the farmers in the mandis. They don't even want free electricity because it's a farce. Whenever there is a shortage of supply of electricity, where do the outages take place? Not in the VIP areas. They cannot bear to even spend 1 hour without their AC or their heater. All the outages take place in rural areas. The farmers do not get a regular supply of electricity, and for that they have to bear the additional cost of running their motors on diesel, which again adds up to expenditure. So what they say is, do not give us free electricity, just give us a regular supply of electricity. That is all we want. Now let's come to the huge other subsidy farce which one government after another has been carrying on with. It is the public distribution system of distributing free grain or very, very subsidized grain to people. Essential commodities. Why? Is that not a subsidy? Why don't you give jobs to people? Why do you want to get them used to freebies? Because giving jobs is difficult. Secondly, you want to play the benefactor. You want to dole out things, and you want to demean the people by being the receivers, by being beggars. You are reducing them to being beggars. Get your act together. Control the population, but you want votes from them. Why should you control? Give them jobs. Take away from your luxuries and create more jobs. There is so much of scope for work to be done everywhere, in every field. You can create those jobs if you want, but then you have to divert funds from other places to do that. So do away with the entire subsidy culture. Do not put 2,000 and 3,000 cash in people's accounts before you run for elections. What is it? Is it not a subsidy? Let's start from the top and do away with all the subsidies. Nobody will mind that. Now second thing is about this. There's been a lot of complaints that this protest is basically backed by commission agents too, and by Khalistanis, and by people who are anti-national. Yes, I'm sure the commission agents are there with the farmers because their job is going to be affected. They're going to be out of job. So it is quite rightful and okay for them to be in support of the farmers. Before going further, I would like to tell you that I do not think that the current system is totally flawless. It is thoroughly corrupt. It is again exploiting the farmer. But instead of doing away with it altogether, we need to correct it. Because it is not possible to do away with the middleman totally. It is not possible for any trade, for any business to do away with the middleman totally. What is the market system? There is the producer and the manufacturer, then there is the wholesale, and then there is the retailer. Can you do away with the wholesaler? Even the political parties who are continuously repeating that we are doing away with the bichauliya or with the middleman, they have their own middlemen everywhere. Middlemen come in different shapes. They have middlemen to promote their agenda. They have their middlemen to work on the social media, to control people's thinking, to misrepresent things. They have middlemen to catch votes, to get people. They have honey traps to do that. They have all kinds of middlemen. So how can you say that here you are doing a favor to the farmer by doing away with the middleman? Now, another thing after this we come to about the big corporates coming and gobbling up huge chunks of land. If we were to allow people to hold huge chunks of land, why did we introduce the Land Ceiling Act in the first place? What was wrong with people big farmers who were plowing huge chunks of land earlier? What was wrong with them if we are replacing it now with the Adanis and the Ambanis? And this, is reintroducing of the Zamindari system in a different garb. Are you aware that there is something called the CCI, or the Competition Commission of India, which is meant to ensure that no enterprise abuses its dominant position? This is exactly what we are doing. So the ordinances, the law, it can all be twisted and given new shapes when we want to do that. Actually, what has happened after the Britishers left is the brown Sahibs have stepped into the shoes of the white Sahib. The British might have gone, but we are upholding their legacy. People on top forget that they're representing a nation, a large number of whose citizens still go hungry to bed. We need to protect the interests of those sections, not allow the large corporations to come and gobble them up and bring up new oligarchs.